So, I'm writing the script on the 6th of November. Obviously, I haven't talked about the movie since the movie was first announced on the channel, but on November 5th, I was able to watch Pokemon the Movie 20, I Choose You. Anyway, since it is a Wednesday video, this video will be short and won't be as highly edited as but I don't highly edit my videos anyways. Lastly, before we get into my first thoughts on the movie, I'm gonna just blurt out the obvious. Don't watch this if you are planning to watch it on the 11th, 14th, or on Disney XD on the 25th. Just put this on your watch later or forget about me like all my subscribers. There's gonna be a whole bunch of spoilers. The movie has some bad things going for it, but many good things as well. Just so I can get the bad stuff over with, let's talk about that first. There's some stuff that I just didn't like about the movie. It saddened me to only see 3 of Ash's Pokemon in this movie. These Pokemon were Charmander, who later evolved into Charizard, Butterfree, and Pikachu. I really was hoping to see Ash's Squirtle and Bulbasaur, but it just didn't happen. There were also small details like Pikachu using Iron Tail. Realistically, Pikachu didn't learn Iron Tail till the Hoenn region. Also, I was hoping Team Rocket and Ash would actually have a fight somewhere in this movie, but it didn't even happen. There were technically 3 blast-offs, but one of them was only them falling off the mountain on where Ash and Co found Ho-Oh, so really nothing happened with Ash and Team Rocket. Ash dying also wasn't the best it could be. I'm gonna be honest here. The first movie was way more emotional. Oh, and when Charmander evolved, he still listened to Ash's every command. When the movie started, I was just amazed by how beautiful everything looked. Or until I walked into the movie theater because I was like 5 minutes late because I needed to grab popcorn. Coming from the Sun and Moon anime, it's just gorgeous. The art and animation were both really good, as well as the beginning scenes. Sadly, this only went as far until Ash receives his 3rd badge. SMH, am I right? Lastly, before I move on to the replacements for Brock and Misty for this movie, and pretty much the characters, we have Marshadow. It's not that I didn't like Marshadow's role in this movie, I actually kind of liked it. The way they showed this in the movie though was just confusing. The rainbow wing given to Ash by Ho-Oh turns black when it's in the hands of someone with an evil heart. When this happens, Marshadow's supposed to rid away of the evil, or at least that was my logic. In the end, Marshadow was the enemy? It confused me, and many people thought the same. It was Marshadow's fault that Ash had to die at the end, even though he came back to life, but still, I wish they explained this more in the movie, but you get what you get. Now, how about them characters? I'm going to talk about 3 of the characters we see the most in this movie. Well, besides Ash, of course. Let's start off with Verity, the replacement for Misty. In short, she wasn't all that great. She could have been better, though. She is from Twin Leaf Town and has Cynthia as her mother. She's all like, I bet my mother wouldn't care about this and that and this and that. Well, that's how it pretty much went. She owned a Piplup, which was, well, it was a Piplup. There's really nothing special about it. Next, we have Sorrel, the replacement for Brock. His backstory was better. He's been trying to find legendary Pokemon so he can become a Pokemon professor. The real backstory that broke my heart was about what happened to Luxray in a flashback. It was said that there was a Luxray that took care of Sorrel when he was younger, when his parents weren't home. One day he went out in the snow alone. He somehow got injured and Luxray found Sorrel and snuggled with him to keep him warm. Sorrel wakes up to find a frozen Luxray smiling and its dead, frozen corpse. This was just one of the many things in this movie that broke my heart. Overall, Sorrel wasn't all that bad. He was better than Verity, that's for sure. Lastly, we have Cross, the edgy rival. This guy owned an Incineroar and a Midnight Lycanroc. I'm gonna be honest, he wasn't a bad character. He was a character to leave his Charmander because it was weak, who then Ash meets and catches the Charmander. Cross later battles Ash. Ash, using Charmeleon, loses to Cross and his Incineroar. After healing up at the Pokemon Center, Ash blurts out and says that Pikachu would have won that battle. Cross kickstarted this amazing conversation that I'll be going back to later. Cross wasn't considered the evil guy in this movie as well. He allowed Marshadow to get control after all due to making the rainbow wing turn all black. Obviously in the hand of the evil. He realizes what he's done wrong and fights with Ash and Co in the end. We didn't get to know his Lycanroc all that much. However, we know that they go way back to Cross being able to overcome Marshadow's control over Lycanroc by reminding it of what happened when they met. It was a very interesting part of Cross's story. I thought I would have hated him, but he turned out to be not that bad. There's a lot more I want to say about all of these 3 characters, but you're going to have to watch the movie for yourself. And hey, you guys can watch it on Disney XD on the 25th, so it doesn't hurt anyone at all. Okay, now let's talk about the main event. Ash and Pikachu. Mainly Pikachu, but let's get a move on. I'm going to talk about only the parts that had the most impact on me. The first one was obviously the opening scenes. It was just a nostalgia ride right from the beginning. A big part of this movie is what happened after Ash loses against Cross. He goes on a rant and says that Pikachu would have won, like I said earlier. He runs off, but Pikachu follows. Ash asks Pikachu if he agreed. Obviously, Pikachu didn't. What broke me in this whole scene was when Ash said, "I wish I got a Bulbasaur or Squirtle as my starter." I was just in shock after this scene. This next scene was right before Ash's death scene. Ash tells Pikachu to get into his Pokeball because it's more safe, obviously. Ash gets in front of Pikachu protecting him, but Pikachu jumps in front, of course, because Pikachu doesn't like to be in his Pokeball. Ash covers Pikachu before Pikachu could take all the impact on the damage that was about to hit him. Ash then tells Pikachu to get in the Pokeball and asks why Pikachu wouldn't get in his ball. This part is what I'll probably never forget, and I'll probably never look at this Ash and Pikachu the same ever again. I'll just let you watch this. I don't care if this video gets copyright striked or something.
It's because I always want to be with you.
What? Oh my god! No! Why would you do that? You idiot!
Yes, Pikachu talked in human language. I do have mixed emotions for this. To me, though, Pikachu talking was a big deal. But you can easily waive this by saying that Ash was injured during this scene, or so it probably was his imagination, but who knows. In the end, we had a happy ending with Ash and Pikachu running off into the distance. Overall, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. It might not have been exact to the first episodes of the anime, but with what they got put into this movie, it was amazing. The battle animation in particular was spectacular. If you haven't watched it yet, I recommend watching it because it was pretty good. Unless you got triggered when Misty and Brock were replaced, then don't waste your time. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. If you guys would like to support me, hit the Patreon link in the description and check it out. Did you enjoy this video? If so, consider hitting the like button because that's appreciated, and share this video because that's also super highly appreciated. Anyways, have a nice day, guys. Peace out.